The metric is still trash. Another tool. Results to be the same, but they're not. They don't match a knowledge or then take it down. Good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday. All right. So what I'm working or what I need to get into this morning is to actually complete a couple of trainings that my manager said we need to do. Apparently they're short, so I need to work on getting trainings done. And then also I reached out to someone I was on a team with from our data science team, and he gave me, I've been working with him on a project, I guess you could say, and he gave me, I was asking him for a table name. I'm trying to find a table. I reached out to someone else and they're out of office for like a week. Well, no, for like 2 weeks they're out of office. So I reached out to him to see if he could give me the name of a table that has some underlying data, because a lot of times, like when we are developing tables, we're using other tables to create tables, and I'm trying to find the underlying source tables so that I can do some research for a reporting issue. Like this is in addition to the other reporting issue that my manager wanted me to look into. So I want to look into this. So first I'm just going to go ahead and get this training done, and then I'll check back with you guys when I'm going to be digging into researching this issue in Teradata. Okay, so I'm doing some research looking up this info, like doing some research into this reporting issue. So one of the tables is saying that, or shows that this indicator that I'm looking for, it shows that it was a part of this transaction, the indicator I'm looking for. However, in another table, it's saying it's not. We have another call. Y'all, this research issue is just driving me nuts. I don't know. Like, I am going crazy. No, I was just agreeing because they've said that's been, or they've told us in prior calls that would delay the scorecards being available if we change structure. And I'm like, that's gonna happen. It's common. We're doing incremental. Yeah. I'm so over all these, like, table names have been flying around, access to this, access to that, like, okay, I need to query someone else's table. So we need to set up a feed of data to go to one of the vendors that we work with that puts data into tools for our employees to view their results. So we need to create this new metric feed, and we have one of our engineers that's going to establish a pipeline to feed them this data. But then someone on my team is like, oh, this person from finance said that they were going to do the feed, and I'm like, I don't think they're going to set up the pipeline. And they just clarified for me, like, no, I'm not setting up a pipeline. Here's the table for you to view. So I'm going to check their table. Hold on, did he give me access? Okay, I don't have access. Let me see if he can give me access. All right, good morning, everybody, and happy Wednesday, I believe it is. So today, well, actually, I want to start off by doing a recap of yesterday because I feel like thoughts were all over the place. A lot was happening. So yesterday, we had a couple emails that came to us about reporting discrepancies. So I was researching that. I still have not finished the project that my manager wanted me to research, another reporting discrepancy issue. I need to go back and try to get that in, do some work on that today and give some examples, because let me check really quick. I don't believe that the reporting has been fixed as far as like this other dashboard. Let me check theirs. I don't believe our numbers closely align, even though we're supposed to have been using the same source or a similar source. I don't believe their numbers have been adjusted. Yeah, no, theirs is like double. Their numbers are double what ours. Okay, so I need to research that issue still because their numbers are double what ours are. Okay, so I need to go research that. Yesterday, I was researching a couple of employees' issues regarding reporting. We had people email in saying, hey, I looked at this report, my numbers show this. I looked at this report, my numbers show this. And then I looked at this third report and the numbers show this. Like, I believe it's wrong. A lot of the times, I'll just say that when employees have questions about reporting not matching, it's typically a knowledge or understanding, and you just have to explain to them, like, hey, there's differences in reporting, and this source calculates it this way. This source is calculating it this way. And this is back to the issue I've mentioned all the time. It's with us using the same metric names across different dashboards and tools. It's the same name, so you would expect it to be calculated calculated or the results to be the same, but they're not. And that's like, I mean, that's the nature of our business, but I don't necessarily like it. I think we should kind of tweak the name if we're going to, you know, change our metric calculation, but that's neither here nor there. So I was searching in Teradata. I reached out to a data scientist to see if he can, because a lot of the time, and I'm sorry, I'm just building on to this. So a lot of the times we have like a developer space within our data warehouse where all of the developers, so anyone that has access to code, like you can create your own tables, right? So when we're creating tables, we're typically pulling from other existing tables. Like I need data from this table, this table, this table, and I'm merging it all together with joins and all of these things, CTEs, whatever you want to do. You're developing this code, creating this table with this result, but I needed to know like, hey, what was the base table? Like, so you have this finalized code with these different things. Where did you pull this data from? So I was reaching out to him to say, hey, do you know, because the person I wanted to, or the person I initially reached out to is out of the business for 2 weeks. So I reached out to this other person to find out like, hey, do you know if what base table they're using, or what is the table that you would use to get these codes that should feed into other tables? So he gave me a table that he created and developed that pulls in those codes. And he gave me access to his table because again, it's in a developer space. So anytime we're creating our own tables, everyone doesn't just have blanket access to them. You have to request access to them. This is a whole issue in my opinion, where I wish we just had blanket access, but I understand why we don't. So got access from him. I'm checking his table, comparing it to this other person's table. They don't match. Now, I'm not saying that they're supposed to match, but they don't match. And if you're saying this is based on, like, this is the base table that should be feeding these other sources based on this code, then I need to understand from this other person's table why it's not capturing that way in his table. So I can't find that out right now because he's out of the business. So we will either have to reach out to his leaders. I don't know if they will know, because I don't know like where people put their code and files. Like, it's not like there's a public repository that I can go into and see all of his like SQL files or anything like that. Like, yes, you can link code in GitHub or GitLab or whatever it is that you use. Yes, you can do that, but I don't know that many people do that, because for me, I know I don't do that. Yeah, I definitely don't, because with Teradata Studio, like I used to save my SQL files to my hard drive, but with Teradata Studio, you can actually create a folder or folders. If you need more than one, you can create folders within the tool that allows you to save all of your work, and you can create folders, subfolders. So that's what I do. Like, all of my files and all of my work is there. So, and it has all my projects. So I don't necessarily need to, like, I can go here to this tree and expand it out and see under this project folder, these are all my SQL files, and I can just double click and work on it if I need to pull it back up. So I'm rambling. I don't necessarily know, is what I'm trying to say, that he would have it somewhere in a public repository like GitHub or GitLab where people can go in and access it. But we can ask if anyone knows on the team. But just in my experience, like, projects that you work on, like, segmented, like the work I work on is not necessarily the projects and things that other people work on, so they probably don't know. They could probably look at my code and figure it out. But yeah, I don't think he meant to put this. I'm sorry, y'all, I'm looking at a Slack message. I don't think I'm messaging the person, because I don't think he meant to put this. Yeah, I think he put it in the wrong Slack channel. Okay. Tagging us about stuff and calling out people's business. I need you to put it in the right Slack. It wasn't too personal, but I'm just saying, like, I don't think he meant to put it there. And he's not responding. Okay. We'll figure it out. But anyways, I kind of forgot where I was, but I have my coffee. So are you guys like a hot coffee drinker or a iced coffee drinker? Like, me personally, I can drink hot coffee all year round, like even during the summertime. I'm a hot coffee drinker, but I mean, I do drink iced coffee or like the ice shaken espresso and whatnot. That's my favorite drink, an ice shaken espresso, but I still prefer hot coffee. What do you guys prefer, if you even drink coffee? But anyways, so that is kind of a roundabout of the issues that's going on with reporting. I need to, we researched a few of the employees, and I was able to verify across different sources that it matched what their inquiry was. There is one employee where it doesn't match, so that's the one where we need to find out, you know, why it's not aligned. Hold on. Okay. Yeah, he did not mean to put it in that Slack. Okay. Okay. So I need to research that. I researched, or the ones that I researched and found out that they matched. I sent that. I responded to those employees and let them know, like, hey, these match. We're good there. But there is another data source where I know the metric calculation is different. So I sent them to that team, like those employees where they're also asking about it not matching another data source. I know that the calculations don't match, and that's why they're different. But I sent them to reach out to that team so they can give them that explanation, because even though I know it, I don't want to be explaining other people's, reports, even though we're expected to know them. You go to them. All right, let's get on this call. Oh yeah, I sure didn't. This is a blanket. I'm cold. Yeah. No, we didn't like that. We were here. Yeah, that was last year. Remember, they pushed back on us though. They didn't want to do it. Remember? Oh, so you're saying, okay, so I remember what you're saying. Remember, it started at so remember, it was at the markets in 2023. 2024, remember the feedback was that they didn't, with the whole, and that's why it came to us, and it was a nightmare last year trying to validate those sales. We did not like that, and we saw that like last year. Like, yeah, it was a lot. Okay, so we are joining a call to discuss some automation, or not, well, sort of automating getting data to an outside vendor that we work with. We use a tool, one of their tools they provide for us for our employees. So this is a newer vendor that we're working with, and this is our first time kind of being able to finally get through legal and everyone else to get approval to go ahead and create the stream to get them the data. So yeah, we need to discuss like timelines, how long once they get the data, how long it's going to take them to turn over showing this in the tool. So that's what we're working on this call. So we'll see. All right, I have a one-on-one with my manager, so let's go ahead and okay, let's join this call. Yeah, I agree. That's why I took notes on when he mentioned parameters, metrics, and calculated metrics, and he was explaining the different three. So I'm like, okay, so we definitely want to go with the metric where we're already doing the calculation. So why would that still require so much development time? Yeah, it doesn't sound like it based on questioning. It doesn't sound like they have dedicated people. Yeah, they need to know, like, so if we're turning this around in 1 to 2 days and we're feeding you this data, then how long is it taking on your end? Because we're saying we're doing the metric, meaning we've already done all the calculations for you. So then why does it and maybe this is my impression, why is it still taking you so long? And that's the piece that I think when I asked the question, we're talking about it, like we need to verify exactly what data they need. Like, do they need employee IDs, names, locations? Like, we need to verify a list of the data points they need in that table that will feed to them, But I didn't know there was a separate feed, because I don't know if that would be necessary if is giving them like IDs and all of that, because I didn't know you guys were sending a separate feed. I didn't see that or have access to that. I'm like, oh, this file I see is only metrics, so what other data points you need? And the guy was like, well, we're sending them. I'm like, that doesn't answer my question. I guess I just didn't know there was a separate file. Right, it should just be the changeover from month to month, like we need to activate an additional, but we're going to send you the data, or we just need you to alter the tiers, but you already have the data feed. It's just a matter of changing what it looks like in the system. Right, I would hope that it sounds like it should be that simple, but I'm getting the impression it sounds like it should be that simple, but I didn't get that impression from them. But I forgot who was the last guy that chimed in. He was like, well, based on MD, based on what you're saying, if you guys are doing all the calculations on your end, it should be easy for us to develop. But he was the only one that said that from their side. So, is that our side? Oh, I don't know if all data analysts do this, but because our work, we deal with employee results, and the data has to be secured, so we can't share it in the state that it is with everyone. We have to kind of summarize it, and the way we do that is on a slide. I don't know if that's something other data analysts do. It is something we do because of the work. So I just messaged her. I'm going to try and get this slide together for her with this June data. So we're going to say data through June 3rd. Oh, hold on. I put March 3rd, June 3rd. And I'm going to I'm going to pull the numbers and update them on this slide and provide that slide to her. Or she may just want me to put it in their deck. I don't know. Because here's the thing. People keep tagging us because they don't have access to the data and the dashboards and stuff like that. They'll be like, hey, do you have an updated slide? And they tag you in the deck to update the slide. And some people, they pet peeve of mine. They will not, like, because Mondays is when I do the updates for the decks for the week. So I go pull the numbers, I update everyone's deck on Monday morning, unless Monday we're like out of office or I have the day off. Like, for example, Memorial Day was on a Monday, so we were closed. We have the day off. It's a holiday, so I updated it on Tuesday. But people will reach out to you and like, I update it first thing Monday morning again. But people will tag you in Slack, or not tag you, but message you in Slack. Didn't even go to the deck to see that I updated it, but will message me. It's like, hey, can I get that updated slide? Did you check your deck first? Because it's updated. Go look. You'll see it. It's in there. But that's my pet peeve. Check before you go asking for people, because you may have the data. You may have the information already. So yeah, but let me get working on this and try to get this turned around pretty quickly for her. So yeah. So I am pulling up Jupyter Lab. It's what I use to do some data analysis, data cleaning, that type of thing. So I'm pulling that up so I can input this new data in there. And then where's mine? You guys, it's almost 6 o'clock and I'm still working, but this new metric, like, is it fair to call it a new metric if we've had it for almost, like, no, a little over a year now, and it's still trash? The metric is still trash. People are still calculating it differently. We're still getting asked why results don't match across different dashboards and reports, and that's because everybody's calculating it differently. We're getting emails from people that have went to other teams and want us to address their concerns, but their concerns has nothing to do with our reporting. No, go back to them. You're asking about us, about their report, and saying they sent you to us. No, go back to them. I'm sending you back to them, because I am not about to address everyone's report. You can't address your own report, then take it down. Stop reporting out on it, is how I feel. Like, stop reporting if you can't answer questions about your own report. Like, I know that your calculation is different than mine, but at least I can explain mine, and I can try to explain why they're different based on the information I have about your metric calculation. But you need to be able to explain that. That's your report. You own it, okay? Stop sending people to us. I'm over it. And now I have to, we are officially, I think it's unofficially official that we are moving away from Tableau. So I need to learn how to use Looker. Y'all, another tool, just another tool to learn how to use. So I'm going through the documentation like we have in the system, where I need to request access. I need to request access to like a development or production. I think I need production environment access so that I can develop dashboards and publish them if need be. So, but I need to take some trainings on how to use Looker. I haven't, like, I'm like, it's just too much. Like, I've been working on going back and using Click as well as Tableau, and now it's like, learn Looker. I'm over all the tools we need to learn. Like, I don't want to use it. I don't want to learn it, but it seems like we will have no choice. We're transitioning away from Tableau. So, yay.